European News Production presents Broadcast from the Past, Absolutism.
Good afternoon, I'm Dominique Romero with your European News, and this is Broadcast from the Past. The Third English Civil War has broken out due to problems between the Royalists and the Parliamentarians. Now the roots of this war can be traced back to Commonwealth, when England was ruled as a republic, creating problems between the parliamentary forces and those who opposed them. In other news, Charles II has passed the Test Act, which is a series of penal laws that serve as religious tests for public office.
Live debate coverage, John Locke versus Thomas Hobbes. European News live coverage.
I'm Thomas Hobbes.
And I'm John Locke.
And today we're going to be debating about absolutism. I believe it's more liable placing the power of the government in the hands of the king than in the hands of others.
Well, I believe absolutist rulers hinder the rights of the people.
All individuals are naturally equal. They're free to do what they need to do equally to survive.
But the rights, life, liberty, and property are all controlled by the absolute rulers, which kind of restricts them from surviving.
But if there's no laws or anyone to enforce them, the only way to impose peace is to have supreme power.
No!
Joining us for a live interview from England, James I and Charles I. Hi guys, we're here with James I and Charles I of England. Okay, let's get started. What are your views on absolute divine rights?
I thoroughly support absolute divine rights, and that is why I brought them forth in England, and I believe absolute authority should be held over religious and political matters.
How about you, Charles? What are your views on absolute divine rights?
Like my father, I support divine rights, and I think the idea is superior to other ideas.
Okay, so James, what has been going on with you and the English Parliament?
So I was trying to do what was right and put money into the war, and at the time we had no money, so I needed to impose taxes, and Parliament denied those taxes, so I decided to dissolve them.
Parliament wasn't supportive of my decisions either. I tried to carry out my father's will. I ruled without him for 11 years.
So why was it only 11 years?
See, what had happened was my country was in debt, and I liked nice things, and we didn't have money. If someone else would help me, I'd have to bring those rights back.
Well, don't you think it's a little inconsiderate of you?
No.
Alright, well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Up next, James II, live from the studio.
Hello, James. How are you?
I'm alright.
Okay, James. Well, I have a few questions for you today, so let's get started. So I heard you're an open Catholic.
Yes, I am.
Alright, so I heard there was something about returning to absolute rule.
Well, that was the goal before William invaded.
Okay, so that was during the Glorious Revolution, which is when you got overthrown, right?
Yeah, William thought he could just invade, and people began to gang up against me. But it's whatever. I'm still the HKIC.
HKIC?
Head king in charge.
No, you're not. You fled the country. Alright, well, I can tell you're annoyed, so...
Up next, William and Mary, after a quick commercial break.
This episode of Broadcast from the Past has been brought to you by Pepsi. Yay!
And now, back to William and Mary.
Well, hello there, William and Mary. How are you guys?
Good.
Alright, good to have you.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so I have a few questions for you guys. So first off, where did you reign before you reigned here in England?
Well, I ruled in Ireland before I ruled in England, of course.
Okay, so tell us about the Bill of Rights.
Well, the Bill of Rights was a restatement of the statutory form of the Declaration of Right that invited us to join sovereigns of England.
And it limits the power of the crown, and it sets out the rights for Parliament.
Well, it's great to hear that there won't be as many problems between the king and the Parliament.
Yes, we're hoping it leads to better things.
Anyways, so I understand that your father was Catholic and you were Protestant.
Yeah, I was. I just didn't agree with my father's ideas, and neither did my sister.
Okay. Well, that's all I have for you guys today, so thank you for coming.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for having us.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Broadcast from the Past with your host, Jesus Casala, and your co-host.
You bet her.
So let's get started with another segment of Let's Talk Louis. Alright, so let's start with Louis XIII. When Louis first began his rule, he had Cardinal Richelieu assist him. Any thoughts?
Well, aren't you a monarch? Why do you need help?
True, true. Okay, let's get to the major subject here, Louis XIV. So first of all, Louis rules by the saying, one king, one law, one faith. To establish one faith, he revoked the Edict of Nantes and imposed the Edict of Fontainebleau.
Well, why did he have to do all that? He's supposed to be like a monarchy. Like, he's supposed to have all power. He shouldn't have to do all that stuff to keep his power.
Good points, good points. In doing this, he made many Huguenots flee to England for freedom of religion. Would you flee?
No.
No? You'd stay, fight for your rights?
Yeah.
Okay. And after creating one religion in France, he combined the king and the state. I say that's good leadership. What do you think?
Well, combining king and state and whatever.
If you say so, I mean...
It's whatever.
Freedom of speech. In doing this, he tried to make France more powerful, and in doing this, he succeeded. Indeed.
I left this country in debt.
Good point, good point. When Louis was younger, my mistake, the Fronde attempted to overthrow him and failed. Later, he built the Versailles Palace and kept nobles under control and watch.
I wonder why. Shoot. Throw me over. I'll kill you.
Thank you. This has been Let's Talk Louis. Now introducing a case story with more news on English Parliament.
Thank you, Jesus. Okay, so further news on the Parliament. The development of the modern-day British political system begins. The Whigs, supporters of the aristocracy, whereas the Tories were supporters of the royal family. But however, both political parties represent rich and powerful. Charles I, upon his accession to the throne, formally created a cabinet council, replacing the old with a new one.
Thank you for watching Broadcast from the Past.
Thank you!
Bye! Are you going to stop it?
This concludes this episode of Broadcast from the Past, brought to you by European News. Make sure to check us out online for more videos, blogs, and updates on all European history. Thank you. Tune in next time.